This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
This is John Sander. You're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Hello, welcome to this week's Three Fish on the Shirt. Absolutely loads to unpack this week. So we've got two guests on with us. As always, we've got Steve Risley. Morning, Steve.
Morning, David.
And we have returning Rob Cavallini, author of many history books about football, but most recently, the history of Grimsby Town, Part 1. Morning, Rob.
Morning, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. It's always good to have you on. So just a quick one before we kick off. We really appreciate you following and watching and listening to the podcast. We'd be grateful if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow our social media. So it really helps us out. So if you don't already subscribe, please do, because many people don't. But it does actually help us out. So we really appreciate that. We've got loads and loads to unpack this week, so I'm really looking forward to this week's episode. So it's great. We've got three of us today to do that. So we'll kick off this week. We started the week with a reasonably, what we might have considered a tough Carabao Cup tie against Shrewsbury. It was a bit of an unknown quantity coming down from League One. Steve, what did you make of the game?
I didn't go to the game, but I saw bits on telly. But it looked like we totally dominated the game again, and really strong performances. We made 8 changes, was it? 7 or 8 changes?
7 outfield changes, so yeah.
7 outfield changes, and I don't think it made a difference to how we put. We played Crawley, battered them, and thoroughly deserved game.
Yeah.
Win, sorry.
Rob, did you get to see the match?
I just saw some of the highlights, and I mean, my first reaction was, "Oh my God, he's made 7 changes." Yeah. I hope this doesn't prove costly, because obviously, it's funny enough. I was joking with a Gillingham supporting friend that could get Man United in the next round. You should take this seriously before the game. So it was great to see how strong the squad is looking.
That's what I thought.
Takeaway.
Yeah, the squad is looking so strong.
Yeah. One of the things that I noticed through the pre-season, looking at the players we'd signed and the fact that he'd made these changes, certainly first game of the season, we thought was against Crawley. Oh my God, he's got to leave some good players out. Last season we were like playing youth on the bench, just to make the numbers up on the bench. I think David Artell said yesterday he got 2 or 3 games come mid-season where he'd actually had to make a decision about who was in the full squad, and he's had to do it 2 or 3 times already this season, which is great testament to the that. And with 7 changes, you think, oh, we can side, not to be. And I think one of the features of, I'm not saying the 2 sides are equivalent, but I guess the League 2 level, Alex Ferguson's Man United sides always had the ability to have 2 or 3 different players in, and those players would just drop in and do as good a job. One of the noticeable features of the Shrewsbury game was that it didn't look any different with 7 different players in. It's got to be a good sign about the way of playing that's going through the club at the minute. What do you make of that sort of philosophy, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the best way to be. If you always think back to like the Buckley sides, they were very similar, weren't they? Yeah. As well. Yeah. And I like the way the goals are spread out amongst the players. They're just slotting in, doing what they need to do. And also, one the big takeaway from the first 4 games is the late goals. It's the mentality. It's that they want to win, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is last year we were fading big time, weren't we? In games, and you think back to Harrogate and various other ones. I think it was Port Vale, wasn't it? That we threw away leads. Now we're going on. We're dictating and we're scoring the goals.
Yeah,
that's right. Late in games, and that, I think that's testament to our fitness levels as well. I think we look so fit, and like I said to you about Greeny yesterday, didn't I? Just before he scored the winner.
Yeah.
That he just never stops.
Yeah.
He's relentless, and he got there and scored the winner.
Yeah. So, and I think the other thing is, he was one of the changes. So it's about rotating and keeping people fresh as well, isn't it? And being able to do that and having the ability to do it, and hopefully that'll help with fewer injuries as well. So into the Shrewsbury first goal, David Chury, Geezer, made a great run forward, stopped on a sixpence, rolled the ball back to Amalazor, and what a finish, Steve. What did you make of the finish from Amalazor?
Oh, it was a great. It was like behind him almost, wasn't it? He sort of scooped it into the lovely curling shot. But Chury's run was, I said to you yesterday, he touched every step. He touched the ball. He kept it under control. Never lost it.
Yeah.
And it was touch, and then laid it off, and it was a great finish. He looks good.
First time I saw Amalazor, Chury play live, I noticed that about him, that he's like got a foot on top of the ball most of the time, even on mid-step.
Yeah, he never loses control of the ball. He touches it every time. Yeah. So it's every step like.
And Rob, there's a bit of criticism sometimes when teams like Town go down to places like Altrincham to get a rough diamond, or somebody who's done a bit well. What have you made of Amalazor when he's in the games you've seen, or what you've seen of him so far?
Oh, I've only seen brief bits of him, but I mean, he's hit the ground running, hasn't he? And I don't have a problem with Town looking around. I was, funnily enough, was saying a few years ago we should go and have a look at these Icelandic and Faroe Island players, because you could watch some of the games on the some of the betting channels, and they're decent footballers. Yeah. Whether they can step up or not, it's not always the thing, because you can see more skillful players playing for Grimsby Borough and Cleethorpes Town sometimes, but they haven't got the will to win or the mentality or the commitment to make it at the higher level. So it's not a problem going down. It's how they can apply themselves stepping up, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's a feature of Town's model now, isn't it? To look for those rough diamonds and polish them up. And sometimes it may not work, but at the moment we seem blessed with the choices we made, and I think that's probably a testament to the data-led situation we've got now. So within a few minutes of that, we had another penalty, which we seem to have got a few now, and we'll probably come back to that a little bit later when we talk about yesterday's game. When I saw the penalty on TV, I thought it was a bit harsh. I couldn't really see a penalty, and I've seen a Shrewsbury Town angle as well, and really difficult to see how the refs are giving a penalty from there. Did you get that from the highlights, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's so we're getting these penalties now, aren't we? Though, but I know we're scoring some and missing some, but we're getting in the box, aren't we? More and more. There's more touches in the box than we've ever had before in games.
Yeah, I've never heard Dave Artell talk about that so much as he has this season.
No, yeah, but we've noticed a different style of play, haven't we? We're not getting down and crossing the ball in from wings, although we are doing that occasionally. We're doing these little triangles into the box. Yeah. So these little passes, so you're getting in the box quicker.
We've had a running joke, Rob, Steve, and I, that one of my things that gets much repeated is my philosophy is get it where the opponent doesn't want it, and I think that's part of the thing is, if you're playing football in the opponent's box, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at it, League Two. I mean, the players are playing in League Two for a reason. It's not, they haven't got the quickness to fall, and if you've got that and you're going to take it past them or play triangles around them, they're going to kick you. Yeah. And we'll get a lot of penalties this year if we carry on playing like we are.
Yeah,
we should absolutely
find a way of converting them now. 50% at the moment, but
we could see like the Crawley game and yesterday the intricate passing we're doing, and it's frustrating the opposition. Crawley started to start kicking us, yesterday they started doing. They was getting
Yeah.
annoyed with us, weren't they? And they couldn't get near us, and it's great. So long may it continue.
So Jamie Walker missed said penalty. Tried to be cool and calm. Put it a bit too close to the keeper. Part not the greatest penalty, but give credit to the keeper for going the right way. But we didn't let that knock the stuffing out of us, and I think we just carried on trying to play in the right way. But I think a feature of Artell's philosophy this season is we've got to be more ruthless. I think that's one of the areas. So going in 1-0, you'd think, well, it could have easily been 2 or 3-0 by half time. So that's an important area for us to pick up on. It's in the second half, we scored a fantastic goal with Gardner, and I've really wanted Cam Gardner to start scoring because I think once he starts, I think he'll find it a hard habit to break. Looks really strong. He's come on over the last couple of years, been rewarded with a long contract because the club consider him a great asset. The football for that goal, Steve. With Warren involvement down the left.
That's it. It's all the guys that came in the changes that were made, and they look like they've just been in the team for quite a while. The way they found each other, and Gardner, he's beefed up a bit now, and he's starting to look a player when he comes on as a sub. He's made the difference in all games he's come on.
He was unlucky last year with his injury, but he came on against Salford. And it was like, who? Salford away. It was like, who's this? Who's what?
Yeah,
he's gone from a boy, hadn't he, to a fully beefed up
definitely,
individual.
He's highly thought of by Artell because always talks him up.
You don't get a 3-year contract, and that's obviously part of the model. If he kicks on like we're hoping that even if he does get stolen away, it's going to cost somebody an arm and a leg, hopefully. And he's broken that goal. It's not drought because he's not been playing, but he's got that hunger, hasn't he? And I hope that continues. But it was a great football. Again, Rob, feature of the intricate play within the box and a hard cross at the end of it into the danger area.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great finish, wasn't it? I mean, I just stood there watching it on my TV, and it was like, wow, that will do.
More of the same. As you say,
but sometimes it's like plays just the penny drops, doesn't it? They just get that extra bit of strength, and they just work out, all right, this is how I do it, and they just overnight suddenly become a different player, don't they?
I think your observation earlier, the comparisons to Buckley are not lost on many Town fans, and long may that continue.
It is some of the best football I've seen for quite a long time. It's only 2 games in, but home games. But it's looking like the old Buckley days.
Yeah. Shrewsbury managed to pull one back with a looping ball into the box, which found Sang, who swung a leg at it, and it seemed to loop over him in the only place it could have gone in. I wasn't sure he meant it, but Town then in a position where many times in the past that have folded or started getting jittery. But again, let Shrewsbury back into the game a little bit. And 2-1 feels a lot closer than it ought to feel on the play.
Yeah, but again, we didn't give up, and we ploughed on and got a late goal again.
And there you go. That's the difference that we've noticed. And there's a great 1-2 on the edge of the box, and Warren ran in. I think it was Warren ran into the box and was chopped down. And definite penalty. And KBS stepped up and made it 3-1, which felt a lot more justified in the scoreline. So a great follow up to the Crawley game at home, and the battling back against Harrogate the week before, and it popped Town into the bag for round 2. Rob, what were your hopes and dreams for round 2?
Well, I think my dreams came true. To be honest, I'd have loved to have gone Manchester United away, because I think that would have been a massive cash cow, because that must have been worth £500,000 to £1 million pounds, wouldn't it? Potentially.
Man United make their season ticket holders buy tickets, or they lose the ticket rights. And
exactly, and £66 a go. You know, they can't afford to pay all their staff, so
Yeah,
justifies that.
Yeah, we need to get the little violins out, won't we? Steve, did you have any sort of premonitions of what the draw might give us?
well, yeah, I said to you that I was with my wife. We've been out for the day and we're driving back, and I said, "Oh, it's a draw tonight." I said, we've got to get Man United at some point to her. And she says, what? I've never seen them play Man U. She went, "Oh, right." She's not very interested in football, but she sort of said, "Oh, right, hopefully you get Man U then." And then an hour later, or an hour and a half later, I text off my mate saying, "We've got Man U in the cup." I'm like, he's having me on. It's a call to the wife. Even she was excited. So I would like to be like Rob away would have been good, but there you go. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, I think it would have been an opportunity for more people to get in as well. But
yeah, I've seen Town play every single top team just about, apart from Man United. So
yeah, I think
it's my team as well, Man United, I'm afraid.
One thing with the way I was watching the game on the Tuesday was I was up at the very north tip of Scotland, so it was about as far away in the UK as you can watch Town, at 550, 600 miles away. Watched it on Sky, and then I noticed the draw was the following night before the ITV4 game. So I thought, ITV4 on at the time the draw was on. Nothing on there. There's some other program. I hadn't realised that it was also a dual thing with Sky, like it is when we're on against United. So I missed the draw. So I went on to have a look, see if I could catch it online somewhere live. Thought it must be 20:30, not 20 past. And the guy who I was staying with and his wife follow Everton. He's from Birmingham and he's an Everton fan. It's all to do with family heritage, I believe. And I said, "Oh, we've got Man United at home." He went, "Really?" So yeah, it was that sort of shock and surprise because it was the headline on the BBC. I went to see if I could find the link, and great news, great for the club. And for me, I asked I had to think that it's great for the new owners that they've got a bit of a reward for all the hard work, something that's not in their control, but is a testament to the good work that they've done. What do you make of that, Rob, and the progress that we've made under Andrew and Jason, and the fact that it's a bit of a reward for them?
Yeah, no, I think it's brilliant. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I always believe when you having run football clubs and being involved in semi-pro football, if you create an energy, it suddenly creates an inertia that people then start coming. More people come to the games. It builds, and you can build on that. Maybe you look at Exeter City, if you remember that, when they played United and took them to a replay, and that probably funded the rebuild of the whole Exeter City club. So we're not in as dire straits as they. It's creating a real positive mentality and attitude amongst the fans, and it's going to be great for the club.
Yeah, it's fab, and it's everything else that it brings into it. People buy merchandise. You've got the extra people turning up, the general interest in the club. You've got the TV. No doubt there'll be some money from that, and it gets the club on the map as well.
And plus they've just sold, was it 200 more season tickets?
Yes.
On the back of the the draw. I mean, that's money in the bank straight away.
Yeah. So it's already having a positive impact, and as I say, we can we'll come back to that, and we'll probably do a bit of a preview coverage of the Man United game after next week's match. It'll be our 50th episode. Next week's number 49. It'll be a special episode. We've got a great giveaway to come as well, which we'll let you know about later on. And watch out at our social media channels in the week to find out exactly what you need to do to enter our giveaway. So next up is the Newport game. So yesterday we turn up on a bit of a high, riding the crest of the win against Shrewsbury, the unbeaten start to the season, the draw against Man United. Everybody's positive. It's not a bad day. We rock up at Blundell Park, expectant but really worried that as Town fans we were on this high, and with every high comes a crashing low. Hoping that wasn't happening yesterday. It didn't really feel like it was going to happen, but great atmosphere again in the ground before the game. Pre-match feeling around the place, Steve.
Oh yeah, great great atmosphere. And then to say we started off well again. We was like Crawley game, we just passing, moving, speed. But obviously the first goal, early goal, but then didn't capitalise again on our dominance, which was frustrating to see. But the atmosphere around the ground is some of the best we've experienced in recent years. So it's been brilliant.
Yeah. Rob, how did you follow the game yesterday?
Well, I was at Holywell Town yesterday, so I was watching that game, and then I picked up the news afterwards, and I was following it on the results as they were updated. But yeah, I mean, it's got a great start, wasn't it? I saw the goal. I'm not sure their striker had a bit of a shocker, didn't he?
Yeah, I was telling Steve beforehand there was a tweet from a Newport County fan, so we need to get rid of that crap striker we've got, Courtney Baker Richardson. And I just replied, I said, oh, why? It was a fantastic finish.
Yeah.
But we've definitely done some work this season on trying to get first contact on those corners at the near post. And it happened against Crawley. There was a couple of times, I remember saying Greenie McJanet run into the near post, Steve. It didn't work one time. And then the next time, Greenie went to the near post, it bypassed him, McJanet scored.
That's it, yeah.
2 minutes later, we're trying the same again. And then
they're both trying that, yeah.
Yeah, and then yesterday, what was it, 56 seconds or something?
Yeah, first minute, yeah.
And that just bolstered the positive nature of the decent crowd that was in again, and notwithstanding a 6,500 crowd doesn't sound massive in some of the Premier League stuff, but when you think of in town context with 122 away fans, that's a really decent home end. So Town soldiered on, and I think it's fair to say battered Newport, and it could have been 3-4-0 at half time. Would you agree with that, Steve? Do you think it was that comprehensive?
Yeah, definitely. It easily should have been. So missed a penalty. Should have easily been 3-0 at half time, but it wasn't. And you can just see them coming back. And to be fair, they did come back well in the second half, but it was just frustrating. I was just watching it and thinking we need that second goal because if we don't get it, but Town, they've got this resilience now, haven't they? And when they equalised, I didn't feel like they were going to go on and win it, Newport. No. To be honest, I thought Town was going to, and a draw wouldn't have been a fair result. We deserved to win that game comfortably.
Yeah, and I think that's. I think even the most ardent Newport fan would probably agree with that overall. Although the way the game ended probably was a bit hard for them to take initially. But again, mid first half, we're playing football in the box again. We've heard lots from David Artell about touches in the box. Not something you hear a lot of data about previously. But we're playing in other people's box at the minute, and we're getting the benefit. Fourth penalty of the season incoming. Greenie went for the ball, was chopped down by the defender, came from behind him. Penalty, and that's back to playing in where the opponents don't want you to play out. Rob, do you think?
Well, that's how you got to get the ball in the box, haven't you? I mean, there's been so many times where over the years where we've just got nowhere near it, isn't it? I mean, you could turn the clock back 5 years and we would celebrate when we got a corner, I think, at times.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. So if you're gonna create pressure, teams cannot cope with it. Yeah. If you're going to have a sustained period of attacking pressure, if it goes on for 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, the chances are you're going to score.
Yeah, but the psychology of playing where the opponent doesn't want it is crucial in that place, isn't it? And I think you were saying off camera early on, Rob, about League Two players and playing in the box. What's inevitable to happen at some point?
Yeah. I mean, it's one that they're playing on the back foot, aren't they?
Yeah.
And as soon as you've got to try and turn and do that, you're going to either give away the penalty or you're going to allow a shot to get in if you don't want to touch the player.
Yeah.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think the other thing we noticed yesterday, live at the game, was the pace we're getting forward, and the fact that players are running back and chasing on their back heels the whole time, and that can't be an easy way to defend. And I remember when he first came, David Artell said, as a defender, I used to hate defending, having to absolutely be pegging it back towards my own goal. And that does seem to be what we're trying to do as well.
Yeah, but one thing I've noticed in these two games is the substitutions that he's making are almost perfect sort of times, and the quality of them when they come on is fantastic. That guy who came on at Staunton first time, he was fantastic down that left side, and and he can't get in the team.
Artell made a great point last week, and it's a bit baffling in one way, and nice certainly for the player in another that. Rhys Staunton was the player that impressed him most in the pre-season, yet he couldn't get in the team. So kind of try and work that one out. But after yesterday, you can kind of see where he's coming from.
Yeah, he was fantastic down that left side, because when Vernon went off, and we thought, because he did look a little bit tired, but he had a fantastic game, and we lost a little bit of momentum for a few minutes. But then Staunton, he just started galloping down that left and skillful as well.
There was one point, Steve, where he kind of did the thing we used to like doing as kids, where you'd knock the ball around the player one side and then run round him and pick it up
he
again.
did,
play a pass to himself. It's always nice and a good boost for the crowd when you see that. But Newport out sort of mid second half, I think 55 minutes, slung a hopeful ball into the box, and I think of their 14 touches in the box, long throw receipts, and this long looping cross into the box was kind of it. But the centre half is waiting in the middle and finishes like a top striker. Did you see that, Rob?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was a tidy finish, to be fair. There's not much he could do. He struck it so sweetly, didn't he?
I mean, centre half, you're hoping for it to be shinned over the Osmond, aren't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Fair play to the guy. That was a great finish, but it left us with that little, oh, God, this is town. We're following, it's going to go wrong. And for a few minutes, I thought we went into that mode, didn't we, where we looked a bit dishevelled. It looked like we, although, as you say, Steve, we didn't feel like we were going to lose the game, but you'd think in years gone by, typical town.
A few seasons ago, I'd have been worried about us conceding like that, and then thinking, "Oh God, this is it."
But as you say, with the substitutions,
the winners coming to the other end, and it didn't. We got it
with the substitutions. We got the two fullbacks changed. We brought on we took Walker off. We'd had a fantastic game again. I thought
he was excellent,
really inventive, isn't he? And Amalazor went off again. He applied himself really well yesterday. We got Gardner on and Burns. So we then sort of started to carry on a bit. Then we'd mixed it up. We were getting the ball forward quick. Sometimes, admittedly, it was lumped. But we kept trying and kept getting the ball forward. Amalazor had hit the post actually after the goal before he went off as well. McJanet had a rasping drive from the edge of the box, which brought a fantastic save from
right behind that.
Zanaev. Yeah, we were right behind it. If it have hit the net, ripped through and carried on, it would have been in my midriff, I think. And rather than having caught it coolly, I'd have been wheezing as it knocked the stuffing out of me. But
it was right behind that, and I said to Andy, afterwards, I thought that was a good save by the keeper. To be fair,
great opportunities, and there was a cross that was cut out by one of the defenders that exactly did come to us and in the stand, didn't it? But right in the last gasp for the third game running in injury time, we managed to fashion something, and Burns gets down the right. You think, he's going to sling this into the box. Plays in Corey, which is always not because it's Corey, but always a bit dangerous in the position he plays it, because there's a chance of getting caught offside because he's ahead of the winger. Corey smashes his cross in again, as I was taught as a young'un. If you're going to cross the ball in across the 6-yard box, make it low and hard. It can go in off anybody. It doesn't matter. And our good fortune, Greeny managed to get something on it. I'm not sure anybody knows what it is. I think it's probably a better finish than many people give credit, having seen an alternative angle of it yesterday. But what did you make of that finish, Steve, for us?
Well, again, it's the Burns. He could have just crossed it in that at the end there, desperate for to get the goal, but he Curry made the lovely run. And it was one of those little slide rule passes again.
Yeah, and I think anybody
And
who's done the homework on Burns, so they expect him to be tricky and try and beat the player. So they stood off him a little bit. It gave him that opportunity to play a really intelligent ball.
Yeah, and say it's like the old Buckley days, the little passes like that, and then to the byline, and then you're pulling the ball back.
Yeah, I didn't realise how hard he rammed it in until I saw the replay.
Yeah. Like I say, anything's possible then, but if you just lump it in the air, it's not quite as dangerous, is it?
No.
And Greeny's there again, the machine.
Yeah, and Rob, finishes like that, scruffy finishes. You've seen football around the world. Have you seen many scruffier finishes?
Yeah, I've seen quite a few scruffy ones like that, but it's the reaction, isn't it? I mean, the ball's coming at you really quick, and you like to actually direct it and not make a fool of yourself and put it wide or do something stupid. You see all those ones, top class strikes, stick him over the bar from there, haven't they? I mean, you've seen Haaland stick it over the bar from 2 yards out, and he had the composure to just do what he needed to do. Great.
And it counts the same as a worldie.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was thinking that actually, the when it went in, because the noise levels was unbelievable.
It was a massive relief, wasn't it? Because everybody within the 5 minutes before, probably save the people who'd gone to the queue for the Man United tickets.
Yeah, there's loads of people leaving, weren't there?
I don't know why. There's no if you're in a good position to get one, you're very, very likely to get one. If you're not, you're not. That's another matter, unfortunately, for some people. But it was a massive relief. Everybody was going, "How have we not won this 3 or 4-1?"
Say it could have been a 30-yarder in the top corner, but the noise would have been the same.
Yeah.
Just for that little tip over, and then and I got injured in the celebration.
Yeah, well, to hold that thought, as we leapt up as we scored, I saw the ball come off Greeny, and it kind of squirmed, and I couldn't see where it ended up because the bloke in front of me jumped up. So as the ball squirmed over the line, I'm thinking, has it gone in? Has it gone in? And then as I sort of cleared his view, I could see the keeper scrabbling back to try and bat it out, but it was like heading for the side net, and it was about 2 foot over the line by then. The joy was such that the guy next to me, who I've never met before, we just were hugging in celebration. And then went the other side and was celebrating with Steve. And we had a blood injury.
So my earlobe must have cut it somehow on your glasses or something, and then it was all on me this shirt.
Great victory coming out of the ground, and we've got Terry Butcher here, lot. Terry Butcher giving his blood for the club. All we need now is some sweat and tears to go with it. That's tears of joy.
Oh, Jesus Christ! So, he's a 58-year-old man, and I'm getting blood drips out of me. My wife wants 2, please. When I got in, she said, "What are you doing?"
Imagine the scenes on Imperial Avenue, Rob. We've got the equivalent of Terry Butcher in Italy walking down Imperial Ave. And
it was how much blood can come out of an earlobe? I don't know, but it did.
When you see the final cut of this episode, Rob, you've got to watch this bit because there's footage. So we'll make sure we work that in.
You're bleeding for the cause, isn't it? That's what it's about.
Exactly.
Anyway, I've watched it and it's come out. So,
Steve, the exclusive top tips for if you get blood on your shirt. You've got the definitive answer, haven't you? Come on, let's have it for our loyal listeners.
Soak it in a saline solution, salt solution,
right?
And it comes out. That was my sister-in-law who works in blood transfusion department. She said do that, and it's come out absolutely perfect. There's a hint.
Public service.
We offer a salt solution.
We offer a public service to this.
So I'm washing my pillowcase this morning as well. That's blood.
What is it with earlobes? If you nick them shaving or anything like that, they just bleed forever, don't they? And like I say, it was humorous, sort of. But we're pleased you're all right, Steve. And
I've survived. My wife's a nurse.
Rob's background is just there to remind us as well. That's in red. So that was yesterday. So we're 4th in the table after these few games, undefeated. We'll come back and talk about the League 2 roundup in a little while. But great start to the season. Great result yesterday, fully deserved. And I think more of the same, please, going forward. But you get the feeling that there's a really positive, good vibe around the club at the minute. It's something different about this season. You picking that up from afar, Rob?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I monitor all the message boards and read all the gossip, and I think it was coming last season when it bar like a late sort of dip, and I think also the fixtures have been brilliant for us. I mean, we have got a bit of a test on Tuesday, haven't we?
Yeah.
At Warsaw, but then I mean, you actually going ahead. I was looking at it. I mean, we might have like 20, 25 plus points going into October. The toughest ones, Milton Keynes Dons, I think, have spent a few quid. Yeah. And then the other, I mean, the only thing is that October looks quite scary. So, but if you got 25 points on the board, for argument's sake, by that point, you've really got something to work with, haven't you? And half points in that month,
but as
you're still up.
As we said at the back end of last season, we could give anybody a game on the day. So, scary in context, Rob, I think.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I just looked at it and thought, "Oh, that looks a bit tasty compared to the running before that." So, I mean, I think Gillingham will probably bore everyone to death. That's a guaranteed draw, isn't it? But
but Gillingham seem to usually get off to a great start and then fade away a bit. Last year, at this point, I think we're top of the league, flying, no defeats, no goals let in, and I think we were the first team to give them a bit of a shock and stop them.
Yeah, I think we ended their run last year, didn't we? We won 1-0. But I mean, I think they've got a lot of expensive players who can't get in the team.
Yeah.
So they're having to wait a couple of years and then they might be good.
Yeah, and we don't seem to be missing Denver Hume so far. Jaden Sweeney's looking a capable replacement. What do you make of Jaden, Steve?
Oh, he's a super player. Different sort of style we're playing this season, but he's getting inside, coming inside a lot more. Sweeney than Hume's tended to stay outside, and he's looking at a very good replacement for Hume.
Yeah.
And
Hume was good for turning inside and getting us on the transition, getting us moving forward quickly.
Getting us moving forward, yeah.
And for swinging balls into the box. The way we're playing this year, we kind of don't need that now.
We don't need that now because we've got Sweeney and Rodgers marauding forward when they can get. And as I said, Rodgers yesterday was.
I'm pleased you mentioned that. I've got it written in my notes, Rodgers, and I've bypassed it. Sorry. Rodgers.
No, he was superb yesterday. Rodgers.
He's like a secret weapon.
Asked to do.
He's a secret weapon, isn't he?
Yeah, he just gets forward and he pops up in the box. He pops up in midfield.
Let's play a centre half at right back, so that'll fool him. But no, let's play a centre half at right back and then tell him he can go wherever he likes. Have you noticed any of this in the highlights that you've seen, Rob, around where Rodgers pops up?
No, to be honest, I haven't picked up on that.
He did it in the Harrogate game. He was like in midfield, and he stayed. He didn't go up there just for one attack sort of thing. He was up there for like a good 5 minutes, wasn't he? And just drifting around, and then he came back to his fullback position. Yeah. But all the other players filled in for him. Yeah. And he's obviously been told he can do that, and he's
he ends up taking on the left back, doesn't he, from a right wing position at sometimes.
Yeah.
And then next minute he'll be in midfield. And it must be so hard to play against, not knowing where that guy's going to be.
Yeah, and Sweeney's doing a similar thing.
Yeah.
Going forward and getting in the box, going into midfield, and then we go to a back three, I guess.
But build-wise,
don't really know. It's hard to see what the formation is.
But build-wise, Sweeney is your archetypal, compact, neat footballer left back. Rodgers is a centre half. And
Rodgers double one,
so it kind of, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I think it's entertaining for fans just seeing where's Rodgers going to pop up next.
Yeah,
and the other thing, the thing I did take away from the highlights was all the players look like they're actually enjoying themselves.
Yes,
and that makes a big difference, doesn't it? I mean, if you're actually looking forward to going into work, you got to perform better, haven't you?
Yeah,
that's absolutely.
So, if they're getting freedom to go and express themselves, they must be loving it.
Yeah. I mean, go touch on Greeny being the most improved player I've ever seen. I think from what he was 2 seasons ago.
Greenaldo,
he's just a different. He's just a different player. and coach. That's down to the coaching.
Not we went through and we did a bit of a kind of a clips where we've said something daft, which is most of the time. So there's lots of it, lots of rich vein of stuff to choose from. But we got the reverse bleeper out on our opinions on Green at the start of last season to sort of 3 months in, where we said, he's just a bit part player, a bit agricultural, probably not what we need for League Two, but it'll do as a stand-in. Everybody's scratching their head when he signs a new deal mid first bit of the last season, and he then turns into this the Grimsby Perlo. What have you made of Greeny's transition, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a amazing transition, and he's just embraced it, hasn't he? Maybe that contract was the thing that gave him the release, that some players get nervous, don't they? Maybe just thought, well, they do appreciate me, and I can now sort of express myself more. And you can see it in the performances, can't you?
It's about the role he's been given as well. He's been given that, get forward, get us forward, and never stop running. I remember I've said this to Steve previous. I think it was not this season, the season before. He was training or doing the cool down after the Cleethorpes Town friendly, and the effort he was putting into that just screamed professional at me. And he was driving the other lads on as well. And if he does that, day in, day out, you can see why we wanted him to be about. And the fact that his performances are what they are is brilliant.
Yeah, well, he's a leader, and
you need him, don't you?
Yeah, and I think he's he's just keeps his fitness levels must be the best in the club.
I'll tell you who else is. We've mentioned him briefly, but his performance yesterday particularly needs to be called out. Is Jamie Walker? I thought he was a little wasp everywhere. At the core of our inventiveness. A great signing from Bradford.
Yeah, Bradford fans are raved about him, didn't they? They couldn't believe they let him go, and you can see why now.
Yeah. And Rob, it's always good when the fans of the club you signed him from are raving about him and telling you you've got a decent player. It's always heartening, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's you've got a good player, don't you?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's it doesn't happen very often because most players sort of stick with the club when they're doing brilliantly well, and maybe the management of Bradford just thought he can make the step up to League One, but it doesn't sound like that should be the case.
And it's 32, so he's probably on his last big contract change. So there's maybe other things at play, and so that pretty much wraps up yesterday. David Artell was pleased with the performance. Again, he wants more ruthlessness, as he's said this last week. We've got 2 more games next week. As you've just mentioned, Rob Walsall in the week, and Accrington next Saturday. So 2 away games, and then you just hope we're not getting distracted by the big one the following week on the 27th.
What's that one then?
Yeah,
Man United.
Yeah. So
that was great yesterday. At the end of the game yesterday,
you're thinking what I'm thinking. Go on.
The next game at Blundell Park will be Manchester United. Well,
I didn't think I'd ever be saying that. He said, didn't he?
Wednesday, the 27th of August. Manchester United are visible. I didn't think I'd ever say that. We'd love to see you all here for that, and I'm sure you're going to make an effort to get to that one. Season ticket holders can collect their tickets or get their tickets.
Kevin, yeah. Great stuff. So yeah, great end to yesterday. Nice position in the league. A couple of away games now, which will test us a little bit, and be interesting to see where we come out after that, and then we can concentrate on the big one. Rob, I wanted to move on to talk about your book, The History of Grimsby Town, Part 1. Remind me what the period that spans is.
So that's covering 1878 to 1910.
So that's from the formation for the first 32 years.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
How's it going? Have you had some good feedback from the book? Has it been well received?
People seem to love it. People seem to love it. I was reading the Fishy this morning, and there were some lovely comments on this saying it's sort of brought things to life, and people were finding out new facts about the club, because I did get obviously a fair amount of detail. So it's great that people are taking it on board, and hopefully on stuff they didn't know.
I think there's plenty of history around, but you alluded to it last time you came on. The way you research your sources, and you go into reports, you go into reserve games, you get a feel for the fabric of what was going on at the time, rather than just kind of a surface level overview of the history. And that, because that was my thing, was why five books, and doing it the way you're doing it allows you to go into that level of detail and gives you a bit of time and space to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got several ambitions. I want to remember the forgotten characters who made the club. I mean, so you think about the Barrett, who the Barrett stand was named after. This is going to be for my next book, but he's an absolute legend, and we've forgotten him. We just stuck the finders up, forgot his name, and without him, the guy bankrolled the buying of Blundell Park. We may not have a club.
Yeah,
right.
That was the foundation that the 30s was built on. So when you going back, I mean, the bringing out the inspiration for the club, and all the early different players that made it, that they got disregarded because they were only playing friendly matches, but they were your bread and butter in those days. I can bring this back to life, and that's really what I want to do, because you can't just just gloss over certain events and not tell the story.
Lots of people now look for their information online, but I have to say, you can't beat a book, can you, Rob? You can't beat a book.
No, you can do more. I mean, the websites are great, but you can only get so much out of them. And how many? You can't scroll through 200 pages on a web page kind of thing. I don't think it doesn't kind of work in the same way, does it? But
I found with Kindle that I really do like a book. It was great reading a Kindle, but it's not the same as a book.
And obviously my ones, it don't work on a Kindle, because I mean, it is, I'm telling the story, but also I do want to keep the record of the club and add to the record of the club and correct the record of the club, because there's quite a few mistakes going back over the years on how it's been done, and not they're just accidents as people type them up, and some people have the same name or same initials, so it gets confused. So there's numbering issues when you see the legends that I'll pop up on Twitter every now and again, and I'll give it a number.
So how are you getting on with number 2? And what era what era are we spelling in number 2?
So I'm doing the next one's another 30-year block, 1910 to 1940. Literally after this podcast, going to be starting on the final season. And I've got a bit more to do on World War One, because there's definitely, everyone knows about Sid Wheelhouse, but there is actually quite a lot more between the guest players and reserve players and directors' sons, which actually the director's son was quite crucial, that he gave up basically on most things. And that led to the 1920 relegation into the founder members of Division 3. So there's a lot to bring out in there, and I want to do it justice, but obviously I've got a limited space to actually do that, and I could probably do a whole book on World War One on its own.
Well, a project to think about after you finish the 5-book series.
Well, I think and also these guys, they deserve it, whether it's the friendlies or the war leagues. They're the guys that kept the club going. If they hadn't have given up their time for nothing in the war years and play for the club, would it have come out and prospered in the 20s and 30s? I don't know.
And I think that's the thing
made a difference.
That people today who feel a community around the club can be thankful for, that was, that spirit was around at the time, as you hope it would still be now.
Yeah, I mean, and also back in those days, all the players, they wouldn't, I mean, there were a lot. There's some real characters there. They had to sort of really sort of make something for themselves, because they're all from low education backgrounds, and they had to go in after football, had to go and find a career. I'm sure the current players, some of them will still have to find a job after they finish, but they're probably not as colourful these days as they were back then.
And it's hard, isn't it, sometimes to get the level of the story behind it from history books, isn't it? I think that's one thing you're trying to get around, isn't it, and trying to bring that story and the quirkiness of some of these situations out.
Yeah, and the fan culture. I mean, I found a lovely one. I mean, people remember maybe the day trips to Hull were quite a big event.
Yeah.
And and if you've had a few too many beers and it gets a bit foggy, it gets one hell of a big adventure. So I mean, you get that, and also, I mean, the other thing I think they could learn on, because I was debating this with my dad, and there was all these different coach companies from all over Lincolnshire running excursions into Grimsby for games. So I was thinking, why don't the club actually do season tickets on coaches?
Yeah.
Because you think there's plenty of mums and dads that maybe don't want to go to the game, but their teenage sons do, and they're stranded in Louth that maybe they can't get home from games and stuff like that, and they could sell it as a package and start. You bring 500 people in on buses each week, and then half of that might be fans for life, you know.
Jason, Polly, if you're listening.
Yeah.
we know they know us. We know they know us.
She's a bit busy at the minute with the Man U game, I think.
But Jason goes out of his way to speak to us.
He did yesterday in the pontoon. Yeah, we had a little chat with Jason, didn't we?
Yeah.
You got scoop?
More in the Manchester United episode, but we got Jason's reaction to the Man United draw, and he remembered my he knows about the podcast because when we had Kieran Maguire on, he and Kieran are on like text level sort of communications, so he'd seen that, and I bumped into him a few times, and he knows the podcast, and but he recognised me Warrington Wolves tattoo from the fans forum last year. I think it was a warm day and I had my shorts on.
That means he's looking at your legs, mate.
Yeah, well, what can you say? What's not to admire?
He agreed to a little interview, didn't he? Which is
he didn't give him much choice. So I ran the phone.
Well, no,
and said, "Yeah, what do you think to this?"
It was a headlock that did it, I think.
He's a good guy. He's so approachable, though, isn't he?
Oh, he is. Yeah.
So we'll pass your idea on forward to the coach season ticket, Rob, and I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So, Rob, how can people get hold of your book? I'm presuming it's still available.
Yeah. Well, still plenty of copies left. It's available at my website, which is www.duck.net. So please come along and support it. It'd be great. It's not done too bad, but I think it's one of those where it's a slow burner, and it'll hopefully pick up for volume 2.
Well, I was really excited to get hold of my copy, and it's a great addition to my history books on town. And as Rob said, he's tried to break open the stories and the quirks, and it's great to see. And I'm delighted with my copy. And I believe we've got a copy to give away, Rob.
We do. I've got one here that I'll quite happily send out to the winner of the competition. And what I'm also going to point out is you're going to have a black and white stripy bookshelf by the time you've bought all 5 editions, Dave.
All right.
So
the next one's going to be a white one. Yeah.
You can't argue with that, can you?
No, that's really thinking down to the level, isn't it? On the design. Excellent. So what we're going to do is after the show's released, we'll put out a social media post on Facebook and on X, and what we'll ask you to do is to follow the instructions. And for those who follow the instructions, we'll pop your name into the supercomputer, and we'll pick a winner at random, and you'll be able to get a copy of Rob's book, get your collection started, and then when number 2 comes out, you can add to it. So thanks for that, Rob. That's a smashing giveaway for our listeners and watchers. So really,
No
really
problem.
appreciate that, and good luck with the rest of the book.
Thank you very much.
So quickly moving on. We just want to go back to League Two yesterday and talk a little about the lie of the land in League Two after match number 3. Some good performances from a few teams kicking off at the top end, and we've got the first one on the results yesterday. Chesterfield 3, Bristol Rovers 1. So Chesterfield, many people's favourites to be up there. They've had a great start, 3 wins from 3. Steve, thoughts on Chesterfield?
Yeah, well, they've not been in League Two for long, have they? A couple of seasons now.
Yeah.
Since they came back up from National League, so they're doing well. Spent a lot of money, I think, and they've got some good strikers. Yeah, they should be up there. I'm not sure if they're going to win the league, but and Bristol Rovers, another team, they just come relegated. They just come down from League One. They were not doing very well. Yeah, so they're not started very well. I think they're towards the bottom, aren't they? 4th from bottom. Yeah, so predictive. Could have predicted that result, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, and that's a real bad start for Bristol Rovers. Rob, what do you make of Bristol Rovers' start?
Yeah, there's got to be something more than meets the eye to that. I mean, obviously they're a big club. To sort of have such a disastrous start, I think maybe they have financial issues, or they've got overstocked with players that just aren't good enough or not interested.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Interestingly, Camille Conte was playing yesterday. Somebody we bought from Middlesbrough moved on for money quickly. I didn't see much of the game yesterday, but I didn't think much to his work ethic. Put it like that. When you see the way Town are chasing
wasn't
up.
impressed. Sorry, mate. I'd say, as you know, I wasn't impressed with him when he was at Town, his work ethic.
Yeah.
So it was a good bit of business that buying it, moving him on.
I think from what I saw, when Bristol Rovers were chasing back, he wasn't in the midfield mode of I need to get back and help my defenders out here.
It's not in his. He's not that sort of player, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think Bristol Rovers had a man sent off as well in the 39th minute. So, sort of, what can go wrong will go wrong, and I think that was a feature of yesterday. From moving on from that, another team that's first season in League Two, but from the other way is Oldham, and they're finding it tough to make the leap back to the top. What have you made of Oldham's start, Rob?
Well, I mean, there were playoff winners. I don't think the National League was that strong last year.
Yeah.
It was competitive, but your days of having Notts County and Wrexham getting 100 points and really being as strong as a League Two side, I think it's one of those. The National League goes in cycles, and it wasn't the thing. So when they're getting up, they're beating Southend in the playoff. It's not really a surprise they're beginning to struggle, but I think they've got a good owner.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those where they'll stay up and build on that fairly quickly.
I think I kind of have a little soft spot for Oldham, not because of any association with them, but I think it was my first away game where I went on my own as a teenager on the bus, and it was kind of a bit of an experience. And they faced Swindon yesterday, who middle of last season looked like they were going to struggle to retain some of their players in the summer. They seemed to reasonably recruited. Bit of a difficult to judge them just yet, but they got off to a great start with 2-0 up after 20 minutes. Conceded just before half time for 2-1, and then hung on for the game. So Swindon have not had too bad a start, Steve.
Yeah, don't really like Swindon, do we?
No, for obvious reasons. But they'll get their just desserts, because we know that
see him in
relationship will break down, won't it?
I see him in the stand on the highlight program, and I just cringe when I see him.
Yeah, we'll let it go.
Naming no names.
Let it go now. Yeah, no, we don't. He who shall not be named. Next, Rob, right into your area of expertise. Barnet came up. I tipped them to struggle. There's a few tipped them to do well. Bit of a rough start. What are you making of the Barnet situation?
I think it's deja vu, but a bit quicker. They've come up. It's the 4th time they've been promoted, and 3 under the current chairman. And I think they try and compete in League Two on a National League budget.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what you get, and they're struggling already.
Yeah, I didn't realise they never lost at home last season.
No, they had a fantastic season.
Yeah, lost at home twice now, is it?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's like I said before. I think it is a reflection. The National League is not quite as strong as it was in certain other years. So, then going unbeaten is an incredible achievement, but it's not. If you'd have had Wrexham and Notts County in the league, it would have been a little bit of a different story, I feel.
I think
that's right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Rob, if you're going to make a point about the National League, what better way to have 2 great bits of evidence to kind of back it up? I think we've just stumbled on them there. I think Barnet are going to find it tough. They've kind of given themselves a bit of trouble as well. With I mean, I think we actually showed the clip in the last episode. Only just got away with it and then tried to repeat the feat and didn't quite get away with it. And you can't really handicap yourself like that in the in any league, can you, Rob?
No, I mean that was quite special, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's why I'm describing it.
As a neutral, it's a great watch. But yeah, if you're a Barnet fan, all you can hear is circus music, isn't it?
and if you're the keeper, you're thinking this is going to be a long and hard season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next up, another team that I always am amazed that they compete at this level on the crowds they get and what have you is Barrow. They've had a bit of a rough start to the season under Andy Wing in his first season in charge, full season in charge, sorry. But put Notts County to the sword, who again are having a rough start to the season. Thoughts on Barrow and Notts, Rob?
Yeah, I mean that was a bit of a turn, that wasn't it? I think Barrow is a hard place to go, isn't it? So they'll hang on for that on that basis, but they shouldn't really be competing with a team that gets 10,000 people through the turnstile, should it?
No, and I'd say, as I said last week, with teams that Town might play who are in that sort of position, no disrespect to them. In fact, well done for being able to do that. It's not a criticism necessarily. It's just a well done. But Barrow seemed to have started firing, and like I say, after Notts County pulled it back a little bit, like the Town game yesterday, Barrow went on to get a really late winner, and that's certainly give them a lift in spirits. Steve, Bromley 2, Fleetwood 2. So Denver Hume's gone off to Fleetwood. They went ahead yesterday. Then Bromley scored a couple to get back to 2-1, and then Fleetwood equalised. They've not had too bad a start to the season. We'd like to think that Denver's not gone to a club of equivalent, but they're in a similar position to us at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'll say Fleetwood. I mean, how much debt? 40 million or something.
£44 million have been bankrolled to the tune of, which is incredible.
How they keep going on that, I don't know, but yeah, Denver Hume's gone there, and I think he's doing all right. I think he took a corner yesterday for their goal.
I think you're right.
Their second goal.
Yeah.
But Bromley doing all right as well.
And where does it all end for clubs that are in that sort of debt, Rob? It's got to not have a great portent, has it?
No, I mean they're going to last as long as people are not asking for the money, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's a simple fact. I mean, I think their chairman went to jail, and it's still in the hands of the family, isn't it?
I think
from
so.
What
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So you got to be
concerned.
It's how long they've got the patience. If you look at Rushden and Diamonds, run by a family, lose interest, it collapses, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think if it's 44 million on 2,000 crowds, sooner or later you're going to ask the question, why am I doing this? And not nasty, not being nasty to Fleetwood. It's just why.
That's it. I'm so pleased we're in our situation.
I think that's a great point, and it was one borne out by Kieran Maguire when he came on. He said, with Jason and Andrew, you've got stability. They'll want to progress the club, but in a sensible way. if you get these big owners in that come and start splashing the cash, it's fine at the time, but you know, if the bubble bursts, you risk the entire fabric. Jason and Andrew are not going to put the club's very existence at risk, and I think that's the important distinction probably between us and a Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Cambridge United, another team that's come down, looked like they had a similar performance against Harrogate to we had with Newport yesterday, but they let the equaliser in and then couldn't fashion a winner. How do you think they're going to fare this season, Rob? Because coming down, you either seem to be in danger of falling out at the bottom, or you make a challenge at the top. There's kind of not a lot of middle ground, and in the early part of the season, you're probably worried about both. Where do you see Cambridge on that spectrum?
Well, I'm not hearing they've got any major problems, and they seem to have sort of going against that and maybe having an average season. I think they scored 4 and let in 4. They're not setting the world alight, are they?
No, and I think that's the concern in the early stages. Lewis Cass got the assist yesterday for the Harrogate equaliser. Sorry, Rob, you were going to say something.
No, I was going to say, I think looking at that league table, there looks to be 4 or 5 teams that actually do have a real problem. I think the total to stay up this year is going to be quite low if it carries on the way they're doing. Whereas last year it was, a lot of everyone's beating each other, and it was 80-odd points to win the championship. I think if everyone's going to beat these home and away, it could be like 90, 95 points for the championship and 40 to stay up.
And I say you say Cambridge may well be booking the trend, but it's early days yet, and they'll be hoping for an improvement on where they are. Another team that always start well and then fade, certainly over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Crewe have had an unbeaten start to the season and beat Crawley yesterday 1-0. And although we saw a relatively poor Crawley side, we weren't sure how poor and how much we had done that to them. Crewe were only able to beat them 1-0. Steve.
Yeah, no, just looking at the stats on that game, that they had 16 shots, Crawley, and more possession, which they did against us, didn't they? But they didn't do it with it. That's it. Yeah. It was in their own half mainly, so they had plenty of shots and that, but they just don't seem to be. I mean, they look poor against us, I must admit. I don't know how good we were, but
and Crawley, Rob, what do you think? Are they one of the 3 or 4 teams that you think have got problems?
Yeah, I think they're going to struggle. I might be completely wrong because they went on that immense run that got them promoted. But sometimes you go up and you go down twice, don't you?
Yeah.
I think they may be one of them.
Yeah, because they got up in the playoffs, didn't they? They just sneaked in.
Yeah, they had that crazy run, didn't they? And then I think they beat Milton Keynes by some record scoreline in a playoff game, and then won the final. And it was probably they'd have been better off losing than building on it.
Yeah.
Now they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Forest Green, they're another one. They went up and then went down twice.
When you talk about teams going down twice in a row, Scunthorpe United. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Oh well, they're second from top. They're second from top at the minute.
That's early days.
I rest my case about the National League being lower standard.
But there could be a points deduction incoming.
Yeah, potentially they got not a fine, was it? Failure to control the crowd in the playoff final.
Yeah, and it could.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure why the National League need 4 months to realise this fact.
Yeah.
Scunny have got a history of it, though, haven't they? They had the issues when they had their problems with the ownership, and they formed a line across the pitch, looked like the Scunthorpe offside trap. But never mind, and they're doing all right. And as Thomas Turgoose pointed out in a previous episode at the end of last season, actually be good to have a rivalry game back with them. There's no sport without rivals, and like I said,
we need rivals. I mean,
Scunthorpe
and Lincoln have both assisted Town, and we've assisted them because it creates that interest factor, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely. We just mentioned them a moment ago. MK Dons signed big over the summer. And it's a great win yesterday, 5-0 against Cheltenham. Another team that I picked to struggle was Cheltenham. And the MK put them to the sword yesterday. Rob, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think MK Dons realistically are the favourites for the league, aren't they? And they're well and truly showing that. I mean, Cheltenham, as you say, they're going to struggle. Look like they've probably gone full circle and maybe going back to non-league. Hard to tell at this stage, but it doesn't look good for them, does it?
Steve, we were impressed with the setup at MK Dons.
Yeah.
What do you make of their start to the season?
That's fantastic. I think I heard that they haven't conceded a goal since Paul Warne went in there in April.
Wow.
So, but when we went down, didn't we, and to the 0-0 draw?
Yeah.
And the stadium's lovely. The setup, and
I was surprised.
I was surprised how good it was. Screens in each corner, electronic screens, but just empty.
Yeah.
That's the shame about it.
That's the thing. Well, I went there and it's the perfect stadium. They've got everything right there.
Yeah.
They have.
Except for they haven't got a massive local support base, have they? Because I mean, you're in Alf in London. Why would you watch more against Dons when you can jump on a train and watch the Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know even if they're flying like they are, what crowds they're going to get. They're not going to get
6,500 yesterday. I'm presuming Cheltenham didn't take many.
So I don't know. Can they get 10,000?
Yeah,
I think 10,000 is their top whack, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the best they can hope for. So 5-0 against Cheltenham. Cheltenham were one of the teams that I tipped to go down, flirting with the inability to sort of kick on and consolidate. I think. Salford, Accrington. Salford 2, Accrington 1. Salford scored 2 just before half time to be comfortably 2-0 up. Accrington got a late penalty, but again, Accrington, another side that I've tipped to struggle. What do you make of Salford and Accrington, Steve?
Well, Salford missed out on the playoffs again last season, didn't they? So they're going to be up there, round about similar to last year, I think. Accrington Stanley, they're what they done?
Who are they?
I don't know.
Can't resist.
Who are they? Accrington Stanley. They've made a poor start, so they're down there. So yeah, that's and again expected result that really. Yeah. Salford winning.
I did a little preview advert for the one of our episodes last year when we were playing Accrington, and I used the old milk advert, much to the ire of Accrington fans who got some yawn emojis and stuff like that. But it's only once in a lifetime for us. It's every week for them, I guess. Made me chuckle. Moving on, Shrewsbury 0, Colchester 2. Rob, you've mentioned 4 teams with problems. Shrewsbury, one of them.
Yeah, I think they are on a one-way ticket to having a bad season. They probably, I mean, they have got quite a good setup over at Shrewsbury, so you think that maybe they'll attract a couple of loanees and what have you to maybe get out of the trouble, which is a shame because it's a lovely place to go as well. It's one of those away days that you'd look forward to, I think. So
I noted with interest last week the Grimsby Reaper claimed a director of football in Mickey Moore was it his name? Shrewsbury's director of football got the bullet after the defeat at Town. So in the 3 games they've had, the last 3 games they've lost to Tranmere last week by a good tonking and got really spanked by us in midweek, and then 2-0 at home to Colchester. It does not a great portent for a good season, Rob.
No, I mean they've had. It's not just this season, is it? It's 2 years worth or 2 seasons worth of bad recruiting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And not everyone can have a good season. We need to acknowledge this. That's why we have promotion and relegation, isn't it? It makes it interesting. But their one seems to be particularly bad what they've done.
Note of interest yesterday, George Lloyd, great assist for one of Colchester's goals.
Tried to intercept in midfield, didn't he?
I think they took a quick free kick and he tried to intercept the ball.
Yeah.
But I don't think it pinged off him, didn't it? And basically played a great through ball to Lisby, who slotted in with 7 minutes.
It was on the halfway line as well, and he just tried to intercept it, and it looped.
He kind of shinned it, and it was like the perfect through ball, which was a shame for him and Shrewsbury, and probably typical of the kind of stuff they're going through at the moment. And much talked about on this podcast, not least because of my friend Paul, who I'd love Tranmere to do better for. Tranmere won, Gillingham won, and you mentioned it earlier, Rob. I'm not sure if it was when we were talking pre-episode or whether it was on the episode reel. It'll probably be a boring draw because Gillingham are involved, and they duly obliged yesterday with a 1-1 at Tranmere.
Yeah, well, I have to say, like, one of my best friends, Mark, he won't go to the games, but he's subscribed to their channel, and he watches every single game. Every week he comes in really depressed that they've not had a shot at goal, which they've actually got 2 of their goals this year have come from non-shots. One was a corner, and I think it was something similar yesterday. So it's great entertainment for me, but they are very tedious to watch. Top heavy with expensive players, and yeah, they're going to be mid-table obscurity. Probably draw about 20 games, I think.
And they had 1 shot on target yesterday of 6 shots.
Yeah.
And 11 touches in the opponent's box, so it doesn't bode particularly well on that. But they seem to sign well. They seem to sign decent players, but often they'll have a decent start and then fade. But interesting side to watch. But your observations seem to be true so far. I think last season, one of the teams I noticed at the end of the season was our yesterday's opponents, Newport, who'd drawn 7 of their games last season 0-0. And that's got to be a high proportion by any statistic, I guess. That if you draw nearly 30 games, was that that's not any Aluko style maths there.
It's only Burnley that can match that, isn't it? Really,
6 games 0-0. Sorry. You're not firing on the entertainment front. That's not to say we've none of us seen an entertaining 0-0 draw ever. The other thing I noticed yesterday was Town managing to win yesterday whilst still going 93 minutes without scoring a goal. It just occurred to me when I was sort of thinking about the game after. I thought we had 90 minutes of not scoring and still won.
Yeah,
scoring in the 56th second and the 94th minute.
Best time to score.
So that leaves us with a table of Crewe at the top with Chesterfield, the only 2 unbeaten. Then you've got MK Dons and ourselves on 2 wins and a draw, along with Fleetwood. Then you've got 2 wins and a defeat. You've got Swindon, Walsall and Salford. Then you're into 1 win and 2 draws with Tranmere, Colchester, Bromley, Harrogate, Gillingham, who are Harrogate and Gillingham forming that mid-table 12th and 13th. Bottom half, you've got Newport on 4 points with 1-1, and Cambridge. And then you've got Barrow with 1 win and 2 defeats. Oldham with 2 draws. Notts County with a draw and 2 defeats, as are Accrington and Shrewsbury. And then you've got the 4 teams at the very bottom who have not got a point on the board. And quite significant early negative goal difference. You've got Bristol Rovers -4, Barnet -5, Crawley -5, and Cheltenham -8. So that concludes the table.
Say 3 of those in the bottom 5 are from League One, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got Shrewsbury, Bristol Rovers,
Shrewsbury,
and
Bristol
Barnet.
Rovers, and
Crawley. Crawley, not Barnet.
When you look at like the League One and Lincoln losing 6 million or whatever allegedly for finishing mid-table, if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, it can have you end up going down anyway, and then it will impact for 3 or 4 years potentially, isn't it? That's the danger.
And Kieran Maguire's point when he came on was, I think West Ham were the only team in the Premier League that made a profit the season before he spoke to us, and he says we all know why that is, because me and you are funding the ground. And in the Championship, I think it was something like 600,000 a week, and losses in League One were sort of in the millions. So, like say you go up, you've got to be ready with a plan and investment to back you up. But it's certainly starting to shape now after 3 games, and you've got some teams, even if they, it's not too, it's never too late to pull out and do some good things even from the bottom at this stage. But some of those teams at the bottom definitely would have hoped for better starts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So next week we're on to Walsall in midweek. I'm away again in Aberdeen this time, so I'm going to be watching on Sky. Will you get to see the game at all, Rob, this week?
I'm going to make a bit of an effort to get out and watch it, but I haven't got Sky, so I have to find someone that's willing to put it on for me.
And Steve, will you get to see it online? Or on Sky?
Yeah, it's actually on the main Sky Sports channel, isn't
it? Is it? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's. I was looking yesterday with Andy. They're all on Sky Sports Plus Tuesday night's games, but Town's actually on Sky Sports.
Yes, I remember
football.
that from the fixtures when they announced them. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is on the proper main channel.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
even though I've got my little stick, I'll be watching. Yes, if I get permission by the wife.
Good luck with that then, and good luck in finding a
good luck with the permission.
Finding a mate.
Yeah.
Rob.
Yeah.
As well. Before we wrap up, then, so we've got off to a good start. We're pleased with the start. We've got through to round 2 of the cup, and we've got a plum draw in the second round with the giants of the bottom half of the Premier League, Man United, in the second round at home, and we look forward to that. Next week we'll have our episode 49, as I said, and then an episode 50, which will be our Man United special. As our 50th episode on our celebration, and we've got a Grimsby Town shirt to give away. So in the next week, have a look out on our social media for instructions to follow on that, as well as the giveaway from today's thing. And thanks again to Rob for providing the book for us to give away. Just follow the instructions on both of those competitions, and your name will be in the hat. With the possibility of winning the book on today's one, and with the chance of winning a town shirt of your choice on the second one that will commemorate our 50th episode. So it's been a pleasure, guys, going through lots to unpick in this last week with all things happening at Blundell Park. Thanks to you, Rob, and thanks for your giveaway, and best of luck with the book.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all the best with the book. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And
cheers,
Steve, as always, thanks again. And no doubt we'll converse in the week and reconvene this time next week to see how we've done at Walsall and Accrington. So,
yes.
In the meantime, have a great week, guys. And as always, up the Mariners!
Up the Mariners!
Up the chuffing Mariners!
Up the Mariners!
Up the Stripies!
Well, that's a wrap for this week's Three Fish on the Shirt, your ultimate Grimsby Town podcast. Thanks for tuning in and being part of our community, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcast, through Amazon, Audible, Spotify, iHeartRadio or Podchaser, or anywhere else you get your podcast from. If you're loving what we're doing and want more match analyses, in-depth discussions, exclusive interviews, then just hit subscribe. It's completely free and it helps us grow to bring you even better content, and it keeps that Mariners conversation alive. If you want to listen on the go, just ask your smart speaker to search for Three Fish on the Shirt, Grimsby Town Podcast, or find us at any of the podcast locations we've already mentioned. Drop a comment, leave a review, and share the pod with fellow Mariners, because football's always better when we talk about it together. Until next time, up the Mariners!
Believe me,